I'm Stuart Frainer, and this is Des Dealer. Thank you very much for being here this evening, first of all, in this magnificently understated room. I think I should say from the start that Des's last speech was a best man speech at a wedding on Saturday. So at any time, if Des lapses into something that sounds like a best man speech, you'll understand why. The Thinkers 50 has been compared to the Oscars of management. A very true analogy. So what we'd like you to encourage you is to suspend your disbelief for the next few hours and imagine that I'm George Clooney and this is Brad Pitt.
Thanks, George. It gives me particular pleasure to welcome you to such a special place, such a special venue. You are sitting in what was once the London Palace of Thomas Cromwell. Thomas Cromwell was Henry VIII's first secretary and very special advisor. He was sort of the 16th century equivalent of an executive coach. Sadly, as Thomas discovered, one bad idea with a client like Henry could cost you your head. In this case, the bad idea was to marry the king off to Anne of Cleves, a German princess. The marriage lasted 6 months. Thomas lasted considerably less time. However, his loss is our gain. Please admire and enjoy this wonderful building as you walk around. You may even find that you recognise some of the rooms because it's been used in films like The King's Speech, where filmmakers like to use it as a stand-in for Buckingham Palace.
The Thinkers 50 began life in 2001 after a very spectacularly long lunch. Like many of the best ideas, that was when it was hatched. Since then, the people who have topped the ranking have been a roll call of the greatest management thinkers of our time. Peter Drucker, 2001 and 2003, Michael Porter, then C.K. Parland, and we're very pleased that C.K.'s wife and his daughter Deepa are with us this evening, and Clay Christensen in 2011. So over that 12 years, the Thinkers 50 has established itself as the premier global ranking of management thinkers, and more importantly, as something that's used by managers worldwide to access great ideas and to book speakers.
Our mission at the Thinkers 50 is very simple: to scan, rank and share the very best management thinking globally. And that's what tonight is all about. But it's also about something else. It's about being part of a global community. And that sense of community, I think, is palpable in this room. I think the thought leadership industry doesn't get many opportunities to get together and really celebrate the good work that we all do, and hope that you'll take advantage of tonight as an opportunity to do just that.
We'd like to thank you all for being here tonight, but we'd also like to thank our sponsors for their support. We'd like to thank Europe's leading speakers agency, Speakers Associates, and in particular Cosimo Turo. So good, they named him twice. We'd like to thank our friends in the distance over there from Fujitsu, and in particular Moe Ahmed and Tango Matsumoto. We'd like to thank our friends at Executive Networks, Mike Dulworth and Dominic O'Kelly. We'd like to thank our friends at CIMA, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, and Noel Tago, and Deloitte. We'd like to thank Bill Eggers. And from InSync, we'd like to thank Whit Mitchell. And in particular, we'd like to thank our education sponsors, i.e. Business School, Santiago Inúez and Felix Valdebezo, and Tuck Business School, Clark Callahan and Kim Keating. So thank you to all.
We're also thrilled to welcome our growing community of global partners. Amit Kapoor from Thinkers 50 India, our friends from Thinkers 50 China, and and our friends from MCT in Turkey, who are streaming this video live on the internet even as we speak. So a round of applause for them too, please.
As you can imagine, an event like this involves a lot of work. When we first started doing the Thinkers 50, it was just 2 men, and we didn't even have a dog at that time. So we'd like to thank our team in the United States, Joan Bigham, Deb Harity, and Amy Colhoun for the website. And closer to home in Europe, we'd like to thank Tina Schneiderman and Keith Dalton for their amazing work organising tonight's event.
We've already had a really inspiring day with lots of great insights and agenda-shifting opinions. Thank you to all who participated in our panels. We also had some fantastic questions coming from the floor, so a good team effort. This evening is all about acknowledging and celebrating the very best in management thinking. We will announce the first award very shortly, then dinner will be served, and then we will recommence with the Thinkers 50 Awards around 8:30.
Our belief is that there's nothing so practical as a great idea. We're not really interested in ideas that stay in very obscure academic journals and never unearthed and have no impact in the reality of business life. We're interested in the practical application of ideas because we believe that ideas are a limitless resource and a constant source of competitive advantage. C.K. Prahlad, who we admired greatly and topped the Thinkers 50 ranking on 2 occasions, was an exemplar of someone whose ideas were important and had a direct influence on the way people manage and run organisations, whether it was the idea of core competencies, the idea of co-creation, or the concept of the fortune at the bottom of the pyramid. Those are the sorts of ideas that we're interested in, and those are reflected in the shortlist of the Breakthrough Idea Award, which is named in the memory of CK. Amongst the shortlisted ideas, we've just offset the pricing, sorry. Among the shortlisted ideas were Bhagwan Chowdhury, who we're really pleased is here tonight, with his idea of financial access at birth. The concept of the circular economy from the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, which is, I think, is a really important idea. We've also got strategic capitalism from Richard Devaney, who's applying his strategic skills to the very nature of capitalism. We have the economics of quality from Sabir Chowdhury, kind of 21st century take on quality. And then we have the team behind Jugaad Innovation, one of the hot business ideas of the year.
Tonight, as Stuart said, is all about ideas. Ideas really make the business world tick. And I think the people in this room probably understand that better than anyone else. We live in an ideas economy now, and it's an increasingly global economy. And to understand that, you just think about a company like Apple. Investors don't worry that Apple is going to run out of money anytime soon. They worry that without Steve Jobs, the company might run out of new products and new ideas for changing the world. I think that's probably true now of all companies, whether it's Google or Facebook or Twitter. We live very much in an ideas economy.
And that smoothly segues, uncharacteristically smoothly, segues us into the first award of the evening, the Thinkers 50 Lifetime Achievement Award.